The 1930s to 1950s were a glamorous time, filled with stunning actresses who lit up the silver screen with their talent and beauty. But behind the scenes, only some things were picture perfect. Some of these leading ladies had a reputation for being a bit, well, cruel. From diva tantrums to ruthless rivalries, these actresses' behavior was anything but golden.
Sandra just told me, but I was only nuts to that goddamn line.
But what drove them to act this way? Was it the pressure of fame, personal struggles, or just plain mean streaks?
So who's one of the worst people you know in Hollywood?
That I worked with?
Or that you wouldn't want to work with again? If you don't have to comment on that.
$1 million, Faye Dunaway.
Some names might surprise you, and others, well, their reputations speak for themselves. Let's get started. Lana Turner. Julia Jean Lana Turner, born on February 8, 1921, in Wallace, Idaho, became one of Hollywood's most iconic stars. She was known for her radiant beauty, captivating talent, and stormy personal life. Over her nearly 50-year career, she symbolized the glamour of Hollywood's golden age, rising from a small-town girl to a box office sensation. She was among MGM's top stars in the 1940s, with her films earning the studio over $1 billion in today's currency. Her debut in They Won't Forget, 1937, launched her as a screen siren. By the 1940s, she was captivating audiences in films like Johnny Eager, 1941, and The Postman Always Rings Twice, 1946. Off-screen, however, Turner's life was far from glamorous. Her bad girl image fueled tabloid headlines thanks to her turbulent love life. Married 8 times to 7 men, she was also romantically linked to high-profile figures like actor Tyrone Power. Her most infamous scandal came in 1958. Her lover, mobster Johnny Stompanato, was fatally stabbed by her teenage daughter, Cheryl Crane. This was during a violent argument. Cheryl's actions were ruled justifiable homicide, but the sensational trial painted Turner as a tragic figure ensnared in scandal. Turner also battled personal demons. This included struggles with alcoholism and prescription drug addiction, both of which led to professional setbacks. Yet, her resilience shone through. Films like Peyton Place, 1957, which earned her an Academy Award nomination, and Imitation of Life, 1959, showcased her depth as an actress. Despite the tragedies and controversies, Turner's legacy remains a true Hollywood legend. Gloria Swanson. Gloria Swanson was a legendary star of the silent film era. She was well known for her glamorous style and commanding presence on screen. Born Gloria Mae Josephine Swanson in Chicago, her childhood was filled with adventure. This was due to her military family that moved frequently. At age 15, a chance visit to a movie studio sparked her love for acting, launching a career that would make her one of Hollywood's biggest stars. By the 1920s, Swanson was the epitome of Hollywood royalty. She earned $20,000 a week and starred in hits like Male and Female, 1919, and Beyond the Rocks, 1922. Her reputation for elegance was matched by her diva-like behavior as she demanded control over every aspect of her films. Yet, her world began to shift with the advent of talking pictures. Swanson struggled to adapt to the new era of sound. Her resistance to change made her appear stubborn and difficult. She famously declared during a sound screen test, "We had faces then," showing her disdain for the transition. Despite professional challenges, Swanson maintained her love for extravagance. Known for her opulent lifestyle, she lived in lavish homes, wore pearl-studded gowns, and hosted grand parties. Her high spending, coupled with failed ventures like her production company, led to severe financial problems in the 1930s. Swanson's career seemed all but over until her remarkable comeback in Sunset Boulevard, 1950. Playing Norma Desmond, a faded star clinging to past glory, she earned critical acclaim, with many noting parallels to her own life. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich, born December 27, 1901 in Berlin, Germany, was a dazzling star of Hollywood's golden age. She was all about sultry performances and striking androgynous style. Marlene captivated audiences with her mysterious allure and fierce independence. Dietrich's career took off with her breakout role in The Blue Angel, 1930. This film was directed by Josef von Sternberg, who played a pivotal role in shaping her glamorous image. Off-screen, Dietrich was as bold as the characters she portrayed. Unafraid to challenge norms, she often clashed with directors over her artistic vision. She famously controlled her lighting and costumes to maintain her perfect image. Alfred Hitchcock once called her the most obstinate actress he'd ever worked with. Rumors even swirled about her throwing a vase at a director who dared question her. Dietrich's personal life was equally daring. Openly bisexual, she had relationships with men and women. These even included Hollywood legends like Greta Garbo and John Gilbert. Her openness about her sexuality and defiance of societal conventions made her a controversial figure in her time. During World War II, Dietrich boldly opposed the Nazi regime. She became a U.S. citizen and entertained American troops overseas. Her fearless activism and refusal to conform left an indelible mark. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford was born Lucille Fay LeSueur on March 23, 1904, in San Antonio, Texas. She would go on to become one of Hollywood's most iconic actresses. She captivated audiences in classics like Grand Hotel, 1932, The Women, 1939, and Mildred Pierce, 1945, for which she won an Academy Award. Behind her impeccable public persona, however, lay a more controversial and complicated figure. Crawford was infamous for her pursuit of perfection, often making bold demands on set. One story claims she insisted a film set be entirely rebuilt because the lighting wasn't flattering enough. This highlighted her determination to maintain a glamorous image. She once remarked, "I never go outside unless I look like Joan Crawford, the movie star. If you want to see the girl next door, go next door." Her personal life, however, painted a darker picture. Crawford's tumultuous relationship with her adopted daughter, Christina, became a central element of her legacy. This was especially true after the publication of Christina's 1978 memoir, Mommy Dearest. The book described instances of alleged physical and emotional abuse. The abuse included strict punishments, fits of rage, and even moments of calculated cruelty. The infamous no wire hangers incident from the memoir became a symbol of Crawford's alleged harshness. In her will, Crawford excluded Christina and her adopted son Christopher, citing reasons which are well known to them. This final act of estrangement cemented her reputation as both a glamorous star and a deeply flawed individual. Bette Davis. Bette Davis was born on April 5, 1908 in Lowell, Massachusetts. With a signature glare that could freeze time and a no-nonsense attitude, Davis captivated audiences both on and off the screen. Known for her audacious charm, she was never afraid to challenge expectations. Davis's career was marked by her refusal to conform to traditional Hollywood norms. She once quipped to a persistent suitor, "I'd love to kiss you, but I just washed my hair," exemplifying her legendary sass. This boldness extended to her career decisions. She fought fiercely for roles that defied demure stereotypes of femininity. Her performances in films like Jezebel, 1938, which earned her an Academy Award, and All About Eve, 1950, where she played the sharp-tongued Margot Channing, displayed her unmatched ability to portray complex, multi-dimensional women. Off-screen, Davis was just as fiery. She often clashed with directors and co-stars, insisting on her creative vision. Her infamous feud with Joan Crawford during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, 1962, became a Hollywood legend, fueling media attention and adding tension to their on-screen dynamic. Despite controversies, Davis's commitment to her craft and her groundbreaking performances solidified her legacy as the Queen of Bold. She remains a symbol of strength, independence, and unyielding dedication to art. Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara Stanwyck, born Ruby Catherine Stevens on July 16, 1907 in Brooklyn, New York, grew up with an unshakable drive forged by hardship. Orphaned at the age of 4, she was raised by her older sister and in foster homes. These challenges shaped her into a fiercely independent and resilient woman. These were all traits that later defined her Hollywood career. Stanwyck's journey to stardom began in New York City, where she worked as a chorus girl in nightclubs and theaters. Her breakthrough came in 1927 with the Broadway play Burlesque catching the eye of Hollywood scouts. By the late 1920s, she had moved to Los Angeles and made her film debut in Broadway nights. As Hollywood transitioned from silent films to talkies, Stanwyck's natural talent and charisma helped her rise as a leading lady. Known for her versatility, Stanwyck delivered unforgettable performances in films like Stella Dallas, 1937. This film earned her an Academy Award nomination. Off-screen, she was celebrated for her professionalism and dedication. However, her intense focus sometimes led to perceptions of being cold or demanding. Her insistence on high standards pushed those around her, but it also sparked tensions with co-stars and directors. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball, the beloved queen of comedy, was known for her unforgettable antics on I Love Lucy, which brought laughter to millions. But behind the camera, she had a reputation for being a little less sweet and a lot sassier. Known for her sharp business skills and unwavering confidence, Lucy wasn't afraid to speak her mind. Her interviews often showed a woman who was unapologetically herself, but her boldness made her a star. It sometimes led to clashes with colleagues. Off-screen, Lucille's perfectionism and desire for excellence were evident in her work. Stories from the set often reveal her disagreements with directors and co-stars over comedic timing and script changes. Some of her colleagues even described her as demanding and tough to work with, especially when things didn't go as planned. She was known for being controlling and at times cold, a far cry from the lovable, wacky character she played on television. Despite this tough exterior, those who worked closely with Lucy saw a different side. She was fiercely loyal and generous to those she trusted, even if she wasn't always the easiest person to approach. Her daughter, Lucy Arnaz, has hinted at a complex relationship with her mother. She has acknowledged both the challenges and the deep bond they shared. Lucille Ball's legacy remains untarnished in the eyes of her fans, but whispers of her tough side still linger in Hollywood. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor was known for her stunning beauty and incredible talent. She was also caught up in one of Hollywood's most famous love triangles. Her affair with Eddie Fisher, the husband of her close friend, Debbie Reynolds, caused a huge scandal. This scandal shocked the world and forever changed her reputation. Taylor and Reynolds had formed a strong bond in the 1950s, working together in Hollywood and attending events side by side. Though they had different personalities, they developed a deep friendship based on respect. However, when Taylor's husband, Mike Todd, tragically died in a plane crash in 1958, her grief led to an affair with Fisher, who was Todd's close friend. Fisher, offering emotional support, became romantically involved with Taylor. At the time, Reynolds was pregnant with their second child and was blindsided by the betrayal of both her husband and her best friend. The scandal played out in the tabloids, with the press casting Taylor as a homewrecker. Some criticized her as a villain, while others saw her as a woman overwhelmed by her desires. The affair ended with Reynolds filing for divorce from Fisher and severing ties with both him and Taylor. Taylor and Fisher later married, but their union was met with skepticism. While Taylor's acting career remained successful, her personal life was forever marked by this betrayal. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge was an amazing talent. She made history as the first African-American woman to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. She broke many barriers in Hollywood, but her journey was filled with struggles. During a time when racism was widespread, Dorothy had to fight hard to prove herself in an industry. Because of the prejudice she faced, Dorothy sometimes felt isolated, both on and off the set. She was often seen as distant or unfriendly, but this was not because she didn't want to connect with others. Instead, it was because she was deeply focused on her work. Dorothy wanted to be seen as a serious actress, so she spent a lot of time perfecting her craft, which sometimes made her appear aloof. Her personal life was also complicated. Dorothy faced challenges like 2 divorces, financial struggles, and battles with her mental health. These difficulties affected how she was seen by others, especially later in her career. As opportunities in Hollywood became fewer, she became more guarded and selective. This only increased the perception that she was cold. Despite all the hardships, Dorothy never gave up. She continued to perform, taking on smaller roles and even singing in nightclubs. Dorothy Dandridge's legacy lives on as a pioneer who paved the way for future generations of black actresses. Faye Dunaway. Faye Dunaway is a name many remember for her incredible talent and her unforgettable performances. She brought her characters to life with passion and intensity. This earned her great respect in Hollywood. However, her career wasn't just about awards and recognition. It was also marked by whispers and rumors about her off-screen behavior. Dunaway became known as one of Hollywood's most difficult actresses. While she was deeply dedicated to her craft, her assertiveness sometimes crossed into what others saw as rudeness. There were stories of her arguing with directors and co-stars, demanding perfection on set. She was known to be fiercely protective of her work, sometimes to the point of creating tension on set. One of the most infamous incidents occurred while filming Mommy Dearest. Dunaway reportedly slapped her co-star on the first day of filming. Her reputation for being hard to work with only grew from there, with more stories of her mistreatment of crew members and strange demands. Her behavior off-screen was equally controversial. Reports claimed she had bizarre habits, like refusing to flush toilets or throwing objects in anger. Many in the industry, including other famous stars like Bette Davis, spoke of her difficult nature. Despite these controversies, Dunaway's talent remains undeniable. Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn was a Hollywood star who didn't care about following the usual rules. Known for her bold personality and independent spirit, Hepburn often said, "I'm not just an actress, I'm a personality. Any actress who isn't a personality isn't a star." This showed how confident she was in being herself, even if it made her stand out from the crowd. In her movies, she often played strong, determined women, and off-screen, she was just as fearless. Hepburn's approach to life wasn't always easy for others to understand. She didn't always get along with directors or co-stars because she was so focused on her craft and wouldn't back down from what she believed in. Some people thought she was hard to work with, while others admired her for standing up for herself. Hepburn once said, "If you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun," showing that she valued doing things her own way. Over her 60-year career, Hepburn won 4 Academy Awards, more than any other actor. She was also known for wearing pants when most women in Hollywood wore dresses, which set her apart. In her personal life, she was just as independent. She had a 26-year relationship with actor Spencer Tracy, but never married him, saying she had lived as a man and did what she wanted. Hepburn proved that being yourself could lead to great success. Mae West. Mae West was a true sensation, known for her bold personality and unforgettable on-screen presence. She wasn't just a star in movies, she was a trailblazer who wasn't afraid to speak her mind. Mae West made a name for herself with her sultry one-liners and clever wit, but her confidence and audacity didn't stop there. Legend has it that she was once kicked out of a Hollywood party for being too provocative. Can you imagine? Her career was filled with charm, wit, and bravery as she challenged the norms of Hollywood. Mae West's approach to both her roles and her personal life was fearless. She never let societal expectations hold her back. In interviews, she openly shared her unconventional lifestyle. She was known for her bold statements, which sometimes caused a stir. One famous story says that West's candid remarks led to her being escorted out of a Hollywood event. This showed just how much she resisted playing by the rules. On set, she wasn't afraid to challenge directors and push her characters to their limits. Some people found her confidence refreshing, while others thought she was difficult to work with. Either way, Mae West's unapologetic personality left a lasting impression on Hollywood and continues to be remembered as a true icon. Loretta Young. Loretta Young was known for her poise and beauty, but she also had a reputation for being a perfectionist. She didn't shy away from calling out anyone who didn't meet her high standards, which earned her a reputation as a tough, no-nonsense star. Loretta's career began during Hollywood's golden age, and she quickly rose to fame. But behind her glamorous image was a woman deeply committed to excellence in every part of her work. Loretta paid close attention to every detail, from her wardrobe choices to script revisions. She was often involved in every aspect of her projects, striving for nothing less than perfection. While some of her colleagues admired her dedication, others found it difficult to meet her exacting standards. Stories circulated of Loretta clashing with directors and fellow actors. This was especially true if a scene didn't meet her expectations. She wasn't afraid to speak up and make her dissatisfaction known. Her determination to maintain her vision often led to tension with some in the industry. Yet Loretta's uncompromising attitude only fueled her image as a perfectionist. While some saw her as demanding, others respected her for always pushing for the best. Loretta Young's pursuit of excellence left a lasting impression on Hollywood, making her one of the most memorable stars of her time. Vivien Leigh. Vivien Leigh was a stunningly beautiful actress, best known for playing Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. But her life behind the scenes was filled with personal struggles that made her difficult to work with. Despite her talent, she often found herself battling emotional challenges. This impacted her relationships with fellow actors and the film crew. Leigh once said, "I am not a film star, I am an actress. Being a film star is such a fake life." This statement revealed her discomfort with the superficial aspects of fame. She cared more about acting well than living up to the glamorous image of a movie star. However, her struggle with mental health problems, including bipolar disorder, led to unpredictable behavior on set. She would sometimes have emotional outbursts, or her mood would change suddenly, making it hard for others to work with her. Her mental health issues weren't understood back then, and this caused disruptions during filming. She sometimes forgot lines or showed up late, leading to delays and added costs. Leigh's personal struggles also affected her marriage to actor Laurence Olivier. It made their relationship difficult and added stress to her life. Despite these challenges, Vivien Leigh won 2 Academy Awards. Tragically, her struggles took a toll on her health. She passed away at just 53 years old, leaving behind a legacy of great talent and heartbreaking personal battles. Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow, the original blonde bombshell of Hollywood, was known not just for her stunning beauty, but also for her fiery temper. She quickly became one of the biggest stars of the golden age of Hollywood. But her fame was often accompanied by explosive clashes with directors, crew members, and even co-stars. One infamous story involved Harlow throwing a prop phone at a crew member during a heated argument. Harlow's on-screen allure was matched only by her bold, unapologetic personality off-screen. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind. She would openly challenge directors if she disagreed with script choices. She would also criticize co-stars if she felt they weren't performing up to her standards. Her refusal to compromise and her defiance of traditional expectations made her a symbol of rebellion. But it also led to her being perceived as difficult to work with. Despite her fiery reputation, Harlow's career skyrocketed and she became one of the most sought-after stars of her time. However, her life off-screen was filled with personal tragedies. After the suicide of her second husband, Paul Byrne, Harlow spiraled into deep depression, struggling with alcoholism. Her bright star was dimmed too soon, as she passed away at just 26, leaving behind a legacy of both glamour and controversy. Clara Bow. Clara Bow, often called the original It Girl, was a shining star in the early days of Hollywood. Her career was full of energy, charm, and a touch of rebellion. She became an overnight sensation with her starring role in Wings, 1927. She quickly became known for her tomboyish style and carefree attitude, embodying the spirit of the Roaring Twenties. However, her rise to fame was also marked by controversy. Clara was known for speaking her mind, which often clashed with Hollywood's desire for its stars to follow strict, curated images. She had a Brooklyn accent, used colloquialisms, and wasn't afraid to be blunt in interviews. She once famously said, "I'm not here to be a puppet, I'm here to be real." This honesty made her popular with some, but earned her a reputation as difficult to work with. She didn't shy away from challenging directors and co-stars, even once storming off set after a heated argument with a director. While Clara Bow was celebrated for her performances, her personal life added fuel to the fire. She had many public scandals. This included high-profile affairs with married men. She was known for her late-night partying and disregard for social norms. By the time she retired from acting in the early 1930s, her fame had faded. She became a tragic figure, remembered more for her scandals than her acting career. Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo was known for her beauty, talent, and the aura of secrecy that surrounded her. Her famous line, "I want to be alone," was not just a movie quote. It reflected her desire for solitude, a trait that shaped her public image. Garbo was often seen as distant, choosing to avoid the spotlight as much as possible, even though she was one of the most famous women in the world. Despite her quiet nature, Garbo did have some diva-like demands that added to her mystique. She reportedly insisted on fresh flowers in her dressing room every day. On set, she was known for being very particular about how her roles were portrayed. Her refusal to compromise on her vision sometimes led to tension with directors and fellow actors. One infamous story of Garbo's aloofness involved an encounter with actress Mary Pickford. When Garbo unexpectedly visited Pickford's set, she coldly dismissed her. She told her that she didn't come to see her, but rather another actress. This incident, among others, built the image of Garbo as being not just private, but occasionally harsh and unkind. Garbo's reputation for being a mystery only deepened as she stepped away from acting. Her demand for solitude and perfection continues to captivate and intrigue fans today. Tula Bankhead. Tula Bankhead was one of Hollywood's most colorful and outrageous personalities. Known for her quick wit and bold remarks, she wasn't afraid to speak her mind, whether it was in interviews or on set. Her wild persona made her a favorite of the tabloids and a headache for Hollywood studios. Bankhead's behavior often shocked those around her. She was infamous for her late-night parties, unapologetic attitude, and for living life on her own terms. Her interviews were legendary. They were full of scandalous anecdotes and blunt comments that made her a favorite of the press but caused many raised eyebrows. One famous example is when she told a young actress, "I don't know what your talent is, but your legs are magnificent." This was just one of many unfiltered remarks she made that defined her larger-than-life personality. Bankhead's rebellious streak began early in life. As a child, she was known for causing trouble, even bullying classmates, and getting expelled from convent schools. Her love for shocking people continued throughout her career. She even performed naked cartwheels and made tasteless jokes that left many uncomfortable. Despite her flaws, Tula Bankhead left her mark on Hollywood. She even inspired characters like Cruella de Vil. Her fearless attitude and wild behavior made her a true icon, showing the world that sometimes the truth can be stranger than fiction. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth was once known as the ultimate Hollywood dream woman. Her beauty and talent made her one of the biggest stars of her time, and she was beloved by fans all over the world. But the pressures of fame took a toll on her. Her story became a reminder of the darker side of Hollywood, where the glittering glamour often hides personal struggles. Hayworth's rise to stardom was incredibly fast, and for a time, she was the definition of the perfect movie star. But beneath her flawless image, she battled with the stress of being constantly in the spotlight. As time went on, stories circulated about her unreliable behavior on set. Directors and producers found it hard to work with her due to her struggles with punctuality and focusing during scenes. These challenges led to delays and frustrations, and rumors started to spread about her being difficult to work with. Over the years, Hayworth's mental health issues became more noticeable. Her behavior, including occasional outbursts, was seen as signs of the emotional toll fame had on her. Despite her image as a glamorous star, she faced personal battles that affected both her career and private life. Hayworth's story serves as a reminder that behind every celebrity's bright public persona, there can be hidden struggles. Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers is best known for her incredible talent as a dancer, but she was so much more than just a graceful star on the dance floor. She made a huge impact in Hollywood by challenging the status quo and demanding equal treatment. This made her a trailblazer for women in the industry. Her dancing partnership with Fred Astaire is legendary, creating some of the most magical moments in film. But behind the scenes, Rogers was known for her outspoken nature. Rogers didn't just want to be recognized for her dancing skills, she wanted more substantial roles that showcased her full range of talents. She wasn't afraid to stand up for herself and demand equal pay in an era when gender inequality was the norm. This bold stance often led to clashes with studio executives and directors. They weren't used to actresses asserting themselves. Some people in the industry even labeled her as difficult for challenging the traditional roles women were expected to play. Despite the negative perceptions some had of her, Rogers remained true to her beliefs and kept pushing for fairness and recognition. She believed in her worth and wasn't afraid to speak her mind. Ginger Rogers is remembered not just for her elegant dance moves, but for her courage in changing the industry and standing up for herself and other women. And that's a wrap on our list. While these stars had their moments of brilliance, their behind-the-scenes behavior often shocked everyone. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's past.